Top Gun Maverick is the brand new film, 36-year-old sequel to the original film Top Gun. Once again, stars Tom Cruise as well as Val Kilmer, and also stars brand new cast members, including Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, Glenn Powell, John Hamm, and Ed Harris. And again, after more than 30 years of service from one of Navy's top aviators, Pete Maverick Mitchell, played by Tom Cruise, is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot, dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. The film is 2 hours and 11 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new movie review, highly anticipated movie review here at Max Talks Movies. We're talking about Top Gun Maverick. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and ring the bell. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, box office breakdown shows. Please subscribe and ring the bell if you're new. Also comment down below. First of all, have you seen the first Top Gun? If you have, which one do you prefer? If you've seen both films, are you gonna check it out this weekend? Wait for it to come out on Paramount Plus, whatever. Let me know your situation with the franchise and now these first two films in the comment section down below. And also please like the video. It's one of the just as helpful as subscribing because it really helps drive the algorithm so more people will be recommended. If you want to see a Top Gun Maverick review, they'll be recommended for this video. So let's get into it. So I was, again, very excited for this movie. This film was supposed to come out summer of 2020, and the first trailer debuted at, I think it was like Comic-Con or something around those, one of those conventions in 2019. This film was filmed in 2019. So this has been a movie that Tom Cruise has been passionate about pushing for years now until theaters were back to a place where it could get back to form, and we're at that space now. Obviously, I'm recording this on Sunday. It's doing very well at the box office. But another big movie, that's why I was excited, because of, yes, it is a return to the Top Gun franchise. I didn't grow up with the original film, still have bits and pieces of nostalgia, but it's a really good early Tom Cruise film that he's been talking about making a sequel for really since the original came out. And also, again, the audience reception was absolutely going as an A+ cinema score, near 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So everyone seems to be loving this movie. So I had huge expectations. I saw this in IMAX, which I do want to say first, if you're going to see this, try seeing it in IMAX, makes the experience better. But so let's get into the positives, the negatives, and the score. This movie has a lot to do, has a hard job, which is it's a 36-year-old sequel, which is the longest distance between an original film and a sequel in the history of movies. 36 years since the original film. And what normally these type of films, decades-long sequels, have problems with is thinking too much in the past and have cliches and have just nostalgia just to be nostalgia, not actually adding anything to the story. And that's not what this movie does. Now, yes, the first 5 minutes are pretty much, I mean, this is not a spoiler review, but the first 5 minutes are basically like the opening of the original Top Gun. And there are scenes, yes, and there are characters, yes, but this movie wants to be looking forward, and the strands of the past that, of course, needs to be in this film because Miles Teller is playing Rooster, who is Goose's son, who died in the first film. So, you know, there's still a lot of past. So this movie does have a good job of not falling into those decade-long sequel cliches, which was a huge surprise as well. So let's move into some of my other cast. The cast is really great in this movie, really, really good. Once again, Tom Cruise still doing it, about to turn 60 in a month. Amazing stuff that he is still doing this to this day, and the fact that we had a new Mission Impossible trailer this week, and he's still doing those movies at this age and still doing everything practically is jaw-dropping, and even more so jaw-dropping as a good bit of this movie, most of this movie, if not all of it, is practical. Now, there are some CGI shots, but you would not know if watching this film with the practical planes that everyone had to learn to fly a plane. Obviously, Cruise already knew how to. But it makes the film way more intense because you don't feel like these people are just sitting in a toy plane and flying in a CGI background and being told when to emote or not. You can feel the intensity because these people were actually in the planes doing a lot of the stunt work themselves. And that's something that Tom Cruise has been trying to bring back to Hollywood for the last really 15 years since the third Mission Impossible movie, whatever it is, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, to bring back just complete practical effects. And that's what this movie does. And Tom Cruise is very good. Now, yes, if you're this is one of the times where I think Tom Cruise is just separate himself. He just is Maverick in good chunks of it. Now, there are some Tom Cruise, of course, isms in the film. He does his running bit, but there's times where it just feels like it's Maverick, and that's a huge plus to this movie. One of the biggest standouts as well, I think just as much as Cruise from an acting point of view, is Miles Teller, who is essential to the story as Goose's son, who Maverick has a lot of he feels very sad even decades later after Goose's death, and putting that on his son, and their dynamic is the strongest part of the movie, especially towards the last 30 minutes. It really does become about Teller and Cruise and Maverick and Rooster, which is just such a key relationship in the movie. They have some of the best dialogue scenes of the entire film, and that's where really the heart of this movie is at times, is between this relationship between Maverick trying to take away his guilt and try to support this. Basically, it's kind of like a fatherly figure to Rooster, and that dynamic I think is easily the strongest part. Miles Teller, who should be getting more work than he does, has been so good for so long, and this is definitely one of his best performances of his career. Also, another huge standout is Glenn Powell, who's been really good for a long time. He plays a character named Hangman, which it feels like a combination of Maverick and Iceman. He's very cocky, sometimes rude, but kind of gets the job done. He's also really excellent in the movie as well. Jennifer Connelly is very good. John Hamm, Ed Harris, all these other veteran actors are doing a very solid job as well. Val Kilmer is a very minor role because he did film this while, as he still does, having throat cancer. So while he's in the movie, it is very limited due to those circumstances, but he still is in the movie, and Iceman has a presence really throughout the entire film as well. Another good thing is that, once again, the score is really good, just like from the original. Lauren Balfe does the score. This time he just did the Mission Impossible Fallout score. Very good as well. As I said, the story, yes, there's a lot of spectacle here and a lot of characters that you care about and are rooting for, but there is a story here really driving you where Maverick is, where Rooster is, all these pilots, and the mission is really, it doesn't even matter that you don't even know who you're going after. The mission is so detailed. The technological advances in 36 years also benefit the film heavily, which is why this is just such a good movie. Let's get into, also, it's really well directed from Joseph Kosinski, who did Oblivion with Tom Cruise. Definitely his best film by a mile. And longtime contributor with Tom Cruise is Christopher McQuarrie, who directed the last two Mission Impossible films, directed Jack Reacher, but has really been, since that first Jack Reacher film with Cruise, has kind of been his partner for the last 10 years, not just directing the last two Mission Impossible, the next two Mission Impossible films, but having screenplays in Edge of Tomorrow, The Mummy, and now this movie. Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise are nearly perfect together as a combo, especially with these big of films, and it's nice to see McQuarrie and him still together. Let's move into some. I have a little bit of really one main critique with the story. Let's get into it, and that is, Jennifer Connelly is really good in this movie. It's definitely the most cliche aspect of the entire movie. She's kind of doesn't have a character to herself. She's kind of just the love interest who's just trying to help Maverick move along with life and stuff. I wish there was a bit more of just like a character to her whatsoever. They explain the Meg Ryan thing. I actually prefer this romance from the first one. It just is definitely the weakest aspect by a far margin of the story. It just really, when we cut to there, it's a bit of the cliche, the stereotypical 80s romantic lead man relationship, which I think could have been thought out a little better just from Jennifer Connelly's character point of view. Cher and Cruise have great chemistry. It's just, I think she just doesn't feel like a character in herself. She just feels like a love interest serving the story to push Maverick forward. So that's kind of my main story critique, but this movie was intense from start to finish. Really great cast. I do believe that this improves on the 36-year-old original film. So I'm going to give Top Gun Maverick a 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 94% for Top Gun Maverick. It's definitely one of the best movies of the year. If you never go to IMAX and you're kind of waiting for that film to go see in IMAX, go see Top Gun Maverick. I'm going to break down Top Gun Maverick's opening weekend box office on Tuesday. It is Memorial Day weekend, so I have a great Memorial Day tomorrow. But I'll be breaking down the box office on Tuesday, breaking down the 3-day, 4-day weekends of Top Gun Maverick. How does it stack up domestically and worldwide? We're going to break it all down on Tuesday. Tomorrow, you'll be getting my Stranger Things Season 4 spoiler review of Volume 1 of Season 4. Obi-Wan Kenobi spoiler review, Episode 3 on Wednesday. A lot of reviews are coming out, so please subscribe to the bell. I'll see you guys soon.